Welcome to the City. I'm Anthony Wilson, the Public Information Officer for the City of San Angelo. And we are joined today by Cindy Harton. She is the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of San Angelo and also serves as the Executive Director of our Business Incubator. Cindy, thanks for being with us.
Hello, how are you?
Well, we're here to talk about the new Business Resource Center.
Yes, we are.
Tell us what that is.
It's actually a really exciting new venture for the City of San Angelo, and it's a project that has been worked on for several years by several people. So we're very excited to actually say that it's open, that folks have moved in, and things are going to be happening in it even as close as next month. So the Business Resource Center is actually a project that started back in 2006. It was an idea that came along when all the economic development partners had gotten together and decided that one of the things that was lacking in the City of San Angelo was more of a connection between all of those partners. And so the Business Resource Center was the result of that. And so we now have a building, and all the economic development partners will have a presence in the building, and it will give individuals, businesses, folks from out of town an opportunity to see those economic development partners, meet with all of them, attend training events, and just find out more about the city.
Now, there are three main tenants in the Business Resource Center. Tell us what each one of those tenants is and what their role is in the economic development process.
The three partners that will be moving in on a more full-time basis will be the City of San Angelo Development Corporation, or COSA-DC, the CVCD Business Incubator, or Business Factory, and the Small Business Development Center, that's through ASU, or the SBDC. So those three entities will have more of a primary presence in the BRC, and in regards to what they do, the COSA-DC is actually a nonprofit that is funded through half-cent sales tax through the City of San Angelo, and they fund projects, community projects, as well as economic development projects in the city.
They are the administrators of our half-cent sales tax.
That's correct. Yes, they are. And then the Small Business Development Center, they are actually hosted through the Angelo State University, and they are funded through the Small Business Administration and through state funding, and they provide small business assistance. They help with business plans, they host training events, and they educate folks about how to get a business started, how to continue a business and be successful at it, and most of their services are at no cost. And then the Business Incubator, or the CVCED, is actually also a business resource for someone who wants to get started in a business. If they need lease space, rental space, they can come to the incubator and be housed there, have actually a professional presence for their business, and we also provide business assistance for them. So all three entities will be there in one location, so if someone comes in, chances are they're going to get their questions answered.
And in addition to those three partners, you're going to have some others entities that have as-needed satellite offices in the Business Resource Center. Talk a little bit about who those are.
That's correct, and actually we're very excited about this because what will happen if someone comes into the Business Incubator either through any of the COSA-DC or the SBDC or through the Business Incubator, we can link up with the other economic development partners in the community, and they can all be in that one location for that individual or business. So those other entities would be Downtown San Angelo, the Chamber Economic Development folks, the Concho Valley Workforce Board, and also Howard College. So that's what's exciting about the Business Resource Center, is that the individual doesn't have to search or seek out these entities across the city and try to find those offices. We actually come to them through the Business Resource Center.
Now, having all of these partners under one roof, how much do you anticipate that that's going to impact the coordination and cooperation among them, and what do you think is going to mean for development for our community?
Well, it's actually an interesting outcome of the Business Resource Center, realizing that it's 4 individuals who are coming in, but it does give all of the economic development partners an opportunity to see each other more often, be able to interact and coordinate services more often and on a more accessible basis for individuals and businesses. So I actually see that being a very proactive and a very collaborative approach for our economic development partners. So how I see that is that if someone comes in to the community, if they're not familiar with the city, not familiar with the resources available, what they're going to see is one unified group of individuals trying to help them. And that's what's exciting about the BRC.
Have you had any response thus far from developers just about at least the concept? Of course, I haven't had a chance to use the BRC, but just about the idea of the Business Resource Center?
You know, actually we have. Coincidentally, either through websites or other resources, they've heard about the BRC and are anxious to be able to come in and see and schedule time with each of the partners in the Business Resource Center itself. The building, I think, is very impressive. We're very excited about how it turned out. I think it has, it's actually kind of bringing a nice presence into that part of downtown. And so when people drive by, there's just curiosity. And they want to know what's happening in there. And so our hope is that there will just be a lot more energy around just economic development in general for the city as a result of the building. And so that's what's kind of exciting as we're moving in and kind of seeing the impact of that building and just what can happen with having everyone come together and the energy of all the economic development partners in one location.
Now the Business Resource Center is located at 69 North Chadbourn Street.
Correct.
It's in the former offices of Coca-Cola.
That's right.
And what are some of the amenities that that building and that facility are going to offer, not only for the occupants, but for the developers?
Well, actually, a couple of different things. As part of the plan, there was a very large training room that was built into it. And so on the first floor, we have a training room that offers technology services. We have laptops that individuals, if they come in for training, they can use. If there are several training events that are held through the Small Business Development Center that include social media, building a website, Facebook training. So those types of things, folks can come in and actually do a hands-on workshop and leave with the basic tools to develop those things. Along with the training room, upstairs with the business incubator, that space we're building out more so for what we call a co-working experience. And it's more of a collaborative type work environment. And so instead of kind of your traditional, you're in an office and you're doing your work, the co-working space is much more of a group of individuals sit down and they brainstorm ideas. They put a business plan together. So we don't all work the same. And so the co-working space actually allows folks to come in, sit down, collaborate, grow a business that way, grow a technology, write a business plan. We're making that available for ASU and Howard College students as well. So if they have an idea and they need a space to kind of really get energized or possibly meet with other business owners in the area to learn more about what it's like to run a business, that's what that space is for.
Now right now the staff of the COSA DC, the Development Corporation, has moved into the building.
Yes, they have.
When will the Small Business Development Center and the Business Incubator, when will their staffs move in?
We're looking at the end of this month, so 2 weeks. And there are still a couple of things that we're working on to make sure that everything's finalized for that move. So hopefully by December 1st, all three of the primary entities will be in there. So December 1st, we'll start to see some real activity.
You mentioned about the Business Incubator. How much space are you going to have in the Business Incubator, and how many companies do you anticipate that you'll be able to serve at one time?
What we have right now in the Business Incubator is 2 clients, and they're going to be moving over with us. And they're going to take probably about 60% of the space that we'll have in the incubator. So we'll have room for a couple of more businesses, along with the co-working space. That space in itself can actually host up to maybe 10, 15 people, just because of the flexibility of the space. So not as large as the location that we're at right now, the 2009 West Beauregard, but it's going to be a very nice space. So I think our current clients are going to be pretty happy to move in there.
You mentioned about you have 2 clients right now. Who are those, and how are those businesses doing?
One of the clients that we have is called Gold Star Medical, and the owner of that is Lisa Majeski. And what they do is medical billing services, and they do that across the country. And it's actually a business that has grown over the last few years, and I think she's real excited about moving into the incubator or the new BRC and having accessibility to the other entities as well. The other client that we have is called BEPC, and they're actually a staffing and placement firm. And they do placements in the United States, in Costa Rica, Mexico, and so a lot of their activity is outside of San Angelo, and that is owned by Oscar Casilla. And they're actually also doing very well, and they're very excited to be moving into the new location.
So again, the new Business Resource Center is located at 69 North Chadbourne Street. If people want more information about the BRC or any of the entities that are officed there, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
What I would suggest to folks, if they are interested in the Business Resource Center, is that they can actually contact either the Development Corporation, the Business Incubator, or the SBDC, and I'm happy to give out those numbers.
Okay, we've been talking with Cindy Harton. She is the Economic Development Coordinator for the City of San Angelo. We'll be back with Bob Bluthardt, our manager at Fort Concho, right after this. But first, we want to spotlight another outstanding employee, Becky Dunn, who is the Administrative Assistant in the City Manager's Office.
I'm Becky Dunn. I'm an Administrative Assistant Senior for the City Manager's Office. I've worked with the city for over 19 years. I meet and greet people coming in to see the City Manager's Office. I also schedule his appointments, pay their bills, make sure that we've purchased everything we need to purchase to make the office run smoothly, and make sure all the other departments are getting everything signed that they need, approvals met, deadlines, contracts done in a timely manner. It's a very fast-paced environment. I like it. It makes the days go by fast. It's not the same thing every day. It's always something new.
Sounds good.
Previously, I worked for the police department for over almost 14 years. Then I went over to accounting, and then I moved to finance. I started young, and actually they really do have good benefits, good retirement. I was a single mother for a lot of those years, and then later remarried. And I look forward to working here, and it's exciting, it's fun. And if you don't enjoy it, then you should move to a different department, try something different. But a lot of great people to work for, a lot of people, hard workers. I'm a people person. I'm shy and quiet, but I do enjoy meeting new people, visiting with people, and I really enjoy that. I've gotten a nickname, the gatekeeper, so you have to go through me to get through them, but it's not very hard to do. You know, I have gotten more professional in my job. I take it more serious, I will say that, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Actually, like I said, I've been here 19 years, and sometimes you kind of get in your routine. So it's kind of lit a fire under me. I enjoy coming to work every day. My time flies. It's fun, it really is. I feel like I've matured a lot. I started when I was really young, and I had a little boy at the time. And I just feel like it's helped me through a lot to raise him. Everyone at the police department was really great about being there for us. We had a tragedy when my little boy was 7. His dad was in an accident and passed away. And so everyone was there to help us through that. So it's a good family. The city is a good family. I love to do stuff with my hands. I love to embroider and sew, make crafts. Bake. I do cake decorating. I've taught the classes for 3 years. I just love doing things with my hands. It feels like a great accomplishment. It's just being in bed, sleeping late, drinking coffee. If it's cold outside, have a fire on. I like to do nothing, but I never get to watch TV, I can tell you that. When I do, it's like 10 o'clock at night. So I would love to just stay home and just watch TV, just to myself. No kids, no husband, just me.
Welcome back to the city. We are now joined by Bob Bluthardt. He is the manager of Fort Concho, here to talk about the biggest event that the city hosts each year, Christmas at Old Fort Concho. Bob, thanks for being with us.
A pleasure, thank you.
For the uninitiated, and I can't imagine there are many, explain what Christmas at Old Fort Concho is.
Oh my goodness, it is one of the greatest shows on earth, to borrow a circus term. It is 24 buildings decorated with merchants. It's 40 acres of living history and fun. It's food, it's music, it's shopping, it's children's entertainment, it's ongoing activity. It's the one day, or actually the weekend, when you can come out and see the entire fort and get so much value for your entertainment dollar. It's one of the largest Christmas festivals of its kind in the state, and it's all on December 7, 8, and 9.
And why is this an important event, not just for the community, but for the fort itself?
Well, I'm proud to say I've been there for all of them. We started it back in 1982, and I'm also proud to say that it's met its original 3 goals and has kept them over 3 decades. First, it is a fundraiser. The city is a generous supporter of the fort, but we need to raise a lot of our own revenue to do the neat things we do all year long. So it is our major fundraiser of the year. Second, it is a tourism issue. We are a tourism organization. We bring thousands of people to the city per year. They stay in motels, they buy tanks of gasoline, they eat in restaurants. All of this is tax, sales tax, gas tax, meals tax. All of this rolls around, goes to Austin, and they tell us eventually it comes back to the city, and that helps support our city budget, of which some comes to us. Third, it's sort of a gift of the community. When we started this back in 1982, there weren't many Christmas festivals or celebrations as there are today, and we're happy to see a lot of them because it obviously makes the city more attractive in December. But the board and the staff at that point decided this is what the city needed, and we'd like to think it's a traditional jump-off starting point to the Christmas season. Now, certainly some people say it's Thanksgiving, although I think that ship sailed a long time ago. The stores have their baubles and trinkets out. Sometimes it seems by Labor Day, but the weather turns, the thoughts turn, and by the first weekend of December, we like to think we kick it off in high gear. So all 3 reasons, they were good in 1982, they're still good today.
Traditionally, what have been the most popular offerings at Christmas at Old Fort Concho?
That's hard to say because what one person likes, another person doesn't. And that's why it's such a wide, varied situation. Not to use a stereotype, but let's say mom and dad and the 3 kids come to the gate, they pay their tickets, and then they come. Maybe mom wants to go shopping. The monks and their jams and breads and jellies at OQ1 are a traditional favorite. A lot of other interesting things to see and do. Dad takes one look down the field and sees 6 artillery pieces lined up. Cool, let's go. So he's down there. Maybe the kids want to go to the Indian village and learn Native American lore, or maybe they just want to run around, and you can do that because the site's fairly secure. There is something for everyone. Favorites? I like the cannons. I like when they go off, and even after 30 years, they scare the living daylights out of me, even if I know it's coming as an hourly symbol. I like some of the shopping. I do a lot of my Christmas shopping on that weekend for all of my far distant relatives in New England. The entertainment. I think that's one of the strongest points of the weekend. If you want to hear gospel music, children's choirs, period 1800s music, you can come and see all 3. Not simultaneously, but they're going on simultaneously at 3 different locations. So you have to have something for everyone, because not everyone, say, likes history. Perish the thought, but there are such people. Some people like to shop. Some people want to eat and be entertained. Come on down, you'll get all 3.
Of course, I think one of the things that draws families to Christmas at Old Fort Concho is you have so many events that are geared towards children. Talk about a few of those that may be of interest to moms and dads who are looking for something to do for their kids.
Well, there's 2 reasons that you can do some of the kids' events. Now, certainly they're educational and they're entertaining, but you could look upon it as free babysitting in a way. These workshops take an hour to an hour and a half, so you can kind of drop the kids off and know that they're safe, secure, and learning something. And usually the workshops have some kind of a craft or even a little refreshment, and then you can go off and spend an hour of quality time wandering around. Most of the workshops are on Saturday. That's our peak day of the event. We have Miss Birdie's Tea Party, for instance. That's geared towards girls, of course. There's the Indian Village Native American lore that teaches you all about Native American culture. On the opposite side, there's boot camp, where you can learn how to be a soldier and eat tasty hardtack and march in circles. Doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but kids actually enjoy it for some reason. You have several Christmas craft-related workshops where you learn how to make ornaments and things that represent the holiday across the country and across the world. All of these are posted on our website, by the way, at fortconcho.com, and all have been promoted in the media, the newspaper, and the radio, so it's pretty easy to pull them up and see which ones you may want to attend. Most are for younger children, ages 6 to 12. They're pretty inexpensive, and they're mostly on Saturday, which this year would be December 8th.
For those who are looking to do some Christmas shopping at Christmas at Old Fort Concho, what are some of the interesting items that they might be able to find there that they won't find anywhere else?
Well, let's see. There's always a lot of jewelry, and sometimes we get criticized for that there's too much jewelry, but that's a popular item. One of the things you can get, and this is from the sutlers, the period traders on the parade ground, are period clothes. Now let's say you had a hankering to look like Doc Holliday. You're not going to get those kind of clothes at the mall. Just not. You can buy the hats, the vests, the shirts, the dusters. Those are the big long coats. You can get a lot of that stuff on the parade ground. So that's one very unique shopping opportunity. I mentioned the monks. They're usually in OQ1 and have a lot of tasty things. There's the jewelry. There's a wide variety of handcrafted items in the various buildings. Each year is different, and I need to point that out because some folks say, why should I come back to the Christmas event? I was there last year. Well, 1/3 to 40% of the merchants roll over each year. That is, we try to bring in new ones. So it is somewhat of a shopping experience, and it's just something you got to come out and see.
What about for people who love food? What sort of interesting and tasty foods will you have at Christmas at Old Fort Concho?
Interesting, tasty, not necessarily something you'd want to eat 3 times a day for the rest of your life. This is carnival kind of food. Corn dogs, fajitas, roasted corn. We have the kettle corn person at the east end of the field, west end, along with the root beer person. It's your classic carnival rodeo kind of food. But many of them have plate lunches that you can have. It's usually fairly inexpensive, and there's a nice little picnic area set up by the headquarters building. So unless the wind is howling, I mean, you can sit down in the sunshine and just have yourself a nice picnic.
You mentioned that the event this year is December 7th through the 9th.
Correct.
How much are tickets, and where can people buy them if they want to do that in advance?
The tickets are individual gate tickets, which are $3 for children 7 to 17, $5 for seniors and military, and $7 for regular adults. The weekend passes, which is a really good bargain, 3 days for the price of 2, you can get for double that, which would be $6, $10, and $14. You can buy them at the fort at our Barracks 1 Visitor Center, where we're open pretty much all week long, 9 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday, 1 to 5 on Sunday. Also, for our Goodfellow people, we have a ticket office there at their events center, so you can buy them there. You can order them by phone with just a credit card, or you can mail in the order form, which you can pull off the website, any which way.
It's an incredibly inexpensive event, though, especially considering all that you offer out there.
I would like to think it's one of the greatest entertainment bargains in the city, and we have struggled mightily to keep the costs to a reasonable level. There is a bit of a yin and a yang in this. It is a fundraiser, so we need to clear a certain percentage so that we can continue to do all of the free and low-cost programming and services we do for the community. On the other hand, we don't want to price ourselves out of the market. We restructured the admissions a little bit this year so that the increases didn't affect the family as much. In other words, we reclassified what a child was so that an adult or mom and dad bringing the big family, it won't be as big a hurt as it might be under the old system. But when you think about what a movie would cost you, what a sports would cost you, say a first-class play or something similar, this is an all-day thing. You can come at 9 o'clock on Saturday, buy your ticket, and you can hang out all day. And once you've bought your ticket, with the exception of the food and some of the kids' things, everything's free. There's entertainment all day long. There's soldiers and baseball games. There's Indians and horses and longhorns and all sorts of fun things to look at. You could spend hours there. And for $3, $5, or $7, that's a pretty good deal.
Now, the event is very much dependent upon your army of volunteers.
Yes.
If people are interested in volunteering, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can call us at 657-4441, and if they call after hours, just leave a message. We'll get right back to you as soon as we can. Volunteers are used in the ticket booths. They are used in the coat booths and the promotional booths. They're used as greeters in the various buildings. The shifts are usually 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours. And the neat thing is, you volunteer for one shift, you're free for the day. So if you're going to come out anyway and you like to meet some people, give us a holler. We'll find a good place for you.
Now, if people want more information about Christmas at Old Fort Concho, which again is December 7th through the 9th this year, what's the best way for them to get information about the event?
Well, we try to have it everywhere. First, the website is always good, and we have some popular questions and answers on that. And that's, of course, Fort Concho, spelled out, FORTCONCHO.com. And we try to keep that updated. The Facebook page, which is attached to that, of course, has little daily briefings on the different events and activities. There are ads in the newspaper almost every day. You can call us at 481-2646 and we can answer any question. And I believe there are some inserts and some materials at the city's or at the Convention Center Visitor Bureau. So really many different places you can get the info.
And we only have about 30 seconds. If you were going to recommend one thing that you've got to do at Christmas at Old Fort Concho, what would it be?
I would come out on Saturday. I would come out in the mid-afternoon because if it's a cool day, that will be the warmest part of the day. And I would watch the retreat ceremony at 4:30. I would watch all the soldiers line up, the bugle blows, the calls are made, and the men march around the parade ground. Sends a little chill down your spine. It's just the way it was 140 years ago, and you can't beat that.
Very good. We've been talking with Bob Bluthardt. He's the manager at Fort Concho and the organizer of Christmas at Old Fort Concho. We thank you for being with us, and we hope you'll be back for the next episode of The City.